Hello. Today we're going to show you just how easy it is to count parts using one of our precision parts counting scales. Counting thousands of tiny parts like semiconductors or microchips doesn't have to be complicated. At Arlyn Scales, we make precision simple. Our advanced parts counting scales are engineered for speed, accuracy, and durability, built from machined aluminum, stainless steel, and a rugged gasket-sealed display. While other systems struggle to keep up, Arlyn Scales delivers reliable results every time. In this video, we will show you how our scales makes parts counting faster, easier, and more efficiently than ever before. Meet our SAW PX scale that is in front of you with max capacity of 4,500 grams with remarkable readability of 0.02 grams. It's a part of our broader SAW and parts counting scale families, so you can choose the capacity and readability that fit your application. In the description below, I have linked our SAW PX and our family of scales relating to SAW and parts counting scales. In this tutorial, we'll show you how to count parts using an Arlyn scale with parts counting feature. There are 3 ways to count parts. The first way is counting parts using a quick sample method. The second way is through entering the sample weight into our indicator. The third way is through automatic piece weight acquisition. Let's start the first way, which is quick sample feature. This function is a quick method of acquiring a sample and activating counting mode at the same time. The sample size is limited to 10, 25, 50, or 100 pieces. The higher the sample size, the more accurate the counting will be. For this tutorial section, we will demonstrate how to perform parts counting using quick sample feature, using a sample size of 50 pieces. Press the sample or left arrow button. You'll be on your sample size screen. If you wish to cycle through different sample sizes, press the sample or left arrow key again in order to cycle through the desired sample size. For this tutorial, we'll use a sample size of 50. Press Enter button. Remove all the weights from the platform, or if you prefer, place an empty container on the platform. For this tutorial, we'll place an empty container. Press the Enter button. We will pour 50 screws into the empty container. Press the Enter button, and the piece weight of a screw will be calculated, and the counting screen will be activated. We will remove the bucket containing the screws from the platform. We'll place the same bucket with 50 screws back onto the platform. We will pour 10 screws. As we can see, the number of pieces shown in the indicator is 60. That was a quick sample feature. The next method is entering the sample weight into our indicator. The more accurate and convenient way to sample parts is to define them and store them in memory. You may define as many samples as you like within the scale's capacity. Your scale has over 480 memory slots for saving samples. In this section of the tutorial, We will demonstrate how to perform parts counting through sample definitions by entering the weight manually. Press the menu button. Scroll down to Parts Counting and make sure it's highlighted. Press the Enter button. Make sure Sample Definitions is highlighted. Press Enter button. Press the left arrow key until New is highlighted. Press Enter button. You will see a new sample definition created for you by default. Press the left arrow key and make sure Edit is highlighted. Press Enter button. Scroll to the right and make sure Value is highlighted. Press Enter button. Make sure you know the weight of the part you wish to create a sample definition for. In our case, the weight of the single screw is 3.12 grams. We will type in the new value as 3.12 grams. Press Enter button. You will see that 3.12 grams have been entered as a new value. Press the back button and you should be in the sample definition screen. Make sure Active is highlighted. Press Enter button. On the right-hand side of the definition you created, you should see a check mark. Keep on pressing the back button until you should see the main weight display screen appear. We will place the empty container on the platform. Press the 0 button. We will pour 50 screws into our empty container. As we can see, the number of pieces as shown in the indicator is 50. That is how we count parts by entering the sample weight manually. The third way is through automatic piece weight acquisition. To perform automatic piece weight acquisition, you will need to determine the number of pieces you would like to use to sample. For this tutorial, we'll use 50 pieces of screws to sample. Press the menu button. Scroll down to Parts Counting until it's highlighted. Press the Enter button. Make sure Sample Definitions is highlighted. Press the Enter button. Press the left arrow key until New is highlighted. Press the Enter button. You will see a new sample definition created for you by default. Press the left arrow key and make sure Edit is highlighted. Press the Enter button. Press the right arrow key until Acquired is highlighted. Press the Enter button. Type in the number of pieces you would like to sample. As mentioned before, for this tutorial, we'll use 50 pieces of screws. Type in 50. Press the Enter button. Make sure you remove all the weights from the platform, or if you prefer, you can place an empty container. For our case, we'll place an empty container onto the scale. Press the Enter button. Since we're sampling 50 pieces of screws, we will pour 50 screws into our empty container. Press the Enter button. You'll see the weight value has changed since we processed the weight accumulation. Press the back button. You should be on your sample definition screen. Make sure Active is highlighted. Press the Enter button. On the right-hand side of the definition we created, you should see a check mark. Keep on pressing the back button until you should see the main weight display screen appear. We'll remove the container from the platform. We'll place the container with the 50 screws back onto the platform. We will pour 10 extra screws into our container. As you can see, the number of pieces shown in the scale is now 60. Our scales can keep running totals using accumulation. Each time you weigh a batch, the scale adds the batch's count to the total and stores it in memory. You can remove the batch, then place the next one, and the total keeps growing until you clear it. This feature is mostly used when you have a large order of pieces that is impossible to fit everything at one go. This feature will help you break it down into smaller batches. In this segment of tutorial, we will show you how to use accumulation totals step by step. Place a batch of screws onto the platform, and you will see the scale reads 50 pieces of screws. Press the accumulate or the right arrow key, and it'll store the current number of parts. Remove the batches of screws. As you can see, the number of parts is stored within the scale's memory. Place another batch of screws. Press accumulate again. You will see another 50 pieces of count has been added and stored to your scale's memory, which totals to 100 pieces. As you can see, 100 pieces of screws have been stored within your scale's memory. If you wish to clear out the accumulation totals, press and hold the right arrow key or the accumulate button. This is how one would perform accumulation total on the parts counting scales. Before parts can be counted, make sure you follow these 4 important tips and rules when acquiring samples. Number 1, the scale must be sitting on a level surface. If the scale is sitting on the surface that is either vibrating, located in a drafty area, or in any of the area that causes the scale to be unstable, it will not count accurately. This is especially true when acquiring samples. Number 2, the scale must be accurately calibrated when using samples stored in memory. This is due to the fact that when a sample is saved in memory, its piece weight or 1 would say the value in pounds is saved with it. When this sample is activated on an uncalibrated scale, the count will not be correct. Number 3, parts counting only works well when a single piece weighs at least as much as your scale's readability. For example, if your scale has a readability of 2 grams, and let's say if you have a screw that weighs 1 grams, which weighs less than the readability of the scale, the result would be the scale will not be able to read an accurate enough weight because the object weighs less than the readability of your scale. For the best result, it is suggested the readability should be twice or even 4 times higher than the weight of the smallest part. When the part weight is low, you should use larger sample sizes, such as 25 or 50 pieces, instead of 10 pieces. Number 4, before counting parts on your scale, make sure all pieces are the same weight. Mixed weights and uneven pieces will lead to incorrect counts. For example, Let's say if you have batch of screws that you wish to count. And let's say that each piece weighs 5.10 grams. But if the screws are not identical, maybe because they were not machined accurately, and some of them are 5.15 grams. The result would be inconsistency if you have mixed or uneven screws, which will lead to incorrect counts. That's a wrap. In this tutorial, we learned how to perform parts counting through the following ways. The first way is through quick sample feature. The second way is to know the weight of the single piece and entering the sample weight into your indicator manually. The third way is through automatic piece weight acquisition. We also learned how to perform accumulation totals. If you would like more information on the parts counting scales, in the description below, I have linked user manual for parts counting scales using MKE-5 digital indicator. Have a great day.